Hi guys, Gabriel here and Slazy from Magic Tennis Coaching. Today I'm trying to answer a question which came from one of my followers from Facebook who asked me the other day, Gabriel, how do you think we can keep our kids involved in tennis long term, either in recreational tennis or professional tennis, doesn't matter. How can we keep them long term being involved with this sport? My answer to this question is actually is very important how your kid starts playing tennis, especially if it's a very young kid. It's important what the coach and what you as a parent you've done before he started tennis or in that first few years of training. Recreational players, which are very keen players and playing all their life tennis, and even professional players who got long career like Federer, Nadal, all these big guys in Pro Tour, everyone has got, and all these guys has got in common something, which is the love for tennis, the love to be on a court and play others. And at the professional level, it's even more important to start learning and enjoying to be challenged and to be like a problem solver on a court. So it's very important how the kid starts tennis, and it's important in the first few years, you as a parent to in conjunction with the coach, to insist more on teaching the kid how to love to be there, just to love to play with his mates or playing within the class. So the coach and you shouldn't have very high expectations at the beginning and try to push the 5, 6, 7 years old kid to do lots of hours of training a day and to insist to have the best shots ever. You need first, actually in parallel with the technique, improving the techniques, you need to insist more on making that kid to be happy to be there and not doing other sports or other activities. It's very sad to see actually very talented kids who play maybe for 4 or 5 years tennis from age of 6 or 5 or 10, whatever. They play and they reach very high level skills in tennis. They got the best looking strokes, but they reach the age of 12, 13, 14, and they just give up tennis altogether. This is very sad. And when this happens, it's usually when that kids were pushed too much just to do performance, and their training was not incorporating enough social part and not enough trying to teach the kids through playing and enjoying what they are doing. If you are focused too much on a performance in the early stages of their progress in tennis, too much on performance and winning matches, making a big fuss about winning matches, they will put lots of pressure on the kids, because they will think that tennis it's about just winning matches, and they feel that if you are winning a match, the father or mom is very happy, look happy, and if they lose, they are unhappy as well, because they feel that everybody around them are unhappy. So that's because all the focus was on winning matches and the performance, and not that much what you've done on a court, what they've done on a court, how much they enjoy, and what they've done good, and what could learn in the future so they could do it better regardless the result of the match. So it's very important to teach and to insist more on a social part when it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in parallel with the performance side, because if you couldn't teach your student before he's 10, 11 to be happy on a court, just to enjoy the process and not just the results, and being with friends and everything, it's very hard to teach him in the later stages, because once they reach the age of being teenager and they start being busier at school and high school, they start having exams, which their life start being more in connection with having good results of the exams at high school, so they can go to university and tests and all this stuff. They are starting to bring this attitude into the tennis, and they start thinking that whatever you are doing is not important, it's important the result. That's why when they reach 12, 13, 14, 16, so often top kids, top players in a junior leagues, they start giving up tennis altogether, which is very sad. Sometimes they come back after 10 years to tennis. Actually, most of the time they play as a recreational, which is still good, but we lost the chance for that kid to maybe do performance after he's 16, 17 and he's more mature and he knows exactly what he wants, just because the training which he's done before that age was not including teaching them to be happy and to enjoy tennis as a first priority before winning matches and everything like this. It's important to have good shots. It's important to be happy to be challenged and to accept the challenge, but it's not that important a 6-year-old kid to insist on winning a match or something like this. So even if you study a little other big pro players in a tour, you can see that so often some of the best players all time, nobody noticed them in a special way before the age of 13, 14. I'm talking about Pete Sampras. Before the age 14, everybody say why, or many of them, of friends or people who he was training at a tennis academy, and say, he will never be number one in the world. And he proved after that for years that he can be maybe one of the best player all time. The same Federer, before the age of 14, he was still in the top in Switzerland. He let's say top 10, 15, but they never thought, this will be one of the greatest player of all time. But everything happened after the age of 14, 15, when he decided himself that now I want to put all my time in tennis. Unfortunately, he was leaving a little bit the school on the side, but maybe that's not unfortunate. That was the best decision for him. He put all the effort just in tennis, and then people start noticing, this guy could do a lot. But it was just after the age of 14. So pushing a kid too hard before this critical ages, is just, you don't give a chance to that kid to really become the greatest of all time, because he give up before he start having the real results who count. Now at that age, the results start counting. It's important to start having some good results in the matches as well. I hope that that's answer a little bit from what people want to know about ways of keeping the kids longer involved with tennis. I'm not saying it's not important, the strokes, but you have to realize that the strokes, teaching strokes, it's, yes, sounds maybe very complicated, but from my opinion, I can teach someone just in a couple of years to have great strokes, get great forehands, backhand, and all the strokes in tennis. But if that person didn't have already learned the love for tennis, and to be willing to continue to be involved in tennis, that strokes doesn't mean anything. So be perfectionist with the strokes. It's important. It's just part of your development. But there are many things to make a player a great player, which is including the love for what he's doing. It's including yes, developing the right techniques, so they got the good weapons, the right weapons, and after that to have the right strategies to use the weapons, and to have the right mental attitude. So mental attitude and the enjoyment, they are actually the key points of all these greatest players in the world. I wish you all the best, and I hope you learned something which can be used in your kids' development in tennis. Gabriel and Sleazy is telling you all the best, and bye-bye.